listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. I am Ron Whitmore. We are recording this live on Thursdays at 11 o'clock at Artisan, the art supply store on Cerrillos Road. And you are always welcome to come be part of our studio audience. And we have a fantastic show. We have a new artist friend of mine, Linda Jo Nazarenus. Welcome, Linda. Hi. And I will tell you the whole story about how we met a little bit later. But we have Bill Hearne back. And if you haven't heard of Bill Hearne, you certainly need to get out a little bit more, because Bill Hearne has been a classic in Santa Fe music scene for how long, Bill?
Well, Bonnie and I moved here from Red River in 1991.
1991.
Shortly
Okay.
after that, we became a fixture at the La Fiesta Lounge at the La Fonda Hotel.
Well, this is Bill's second time coming back on the show. Welcome, Bill.
Hey, man, it's great to be back, Ron. Thank you for having me. It's just great to be here again.
Absolutely.
Inviting me.
You got a song for us, Bill?
Yeah, I guess we can do one here. You betcha. I do a new one since the last time I was on here, but this is an old standby and one of my favorites. And those of you who want to hear New Mexico Wayne, we'll get to that in a little bit. It's a little early in the morning, but we're going to try to do a Chuck Powell song for you. Moving on the wayward dust, you might call it drifter's wings, 6-foot frame, pole dust, a rugged life sifted thin, from Alberta to Cold. Second wife, he got as far as Abilene, but he gave up married life. Married life ain't like a glove, kind of tight and kind of thin. Whoever wrote the book of love never heard on a lone prairie, low and tumbleweed, far as you can see, a lonesome cowboy from Calgary, drifting lonely, drifting free. How badly written's what he said, sadly written's what he means. Whoever wrote the book of love wrote a romance magazine. Not easy on a lone prairie, low and tumbleweed, far as you can see, a lonesome cowboy from Calgary, drifting lonely, drifting free, drifting lonely, drifting free. Very good. Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. And we're going to be exploring what Bill has been up to since the last time he was on the show, which is probably about a year ago, I think. And I know he's been up to a lot because I got a new CD sitting here, but I'm not even going to tell you what it's named yet because we're going to talk about that later because I have Linda Jo Nazarenus, and I got to tell the story of Linda Jo. My wife and I were sitting at Santa Fe Bar and Grill at the bar, and Linda Jo was there eating next to us, and I just happened to look over, and you know, when you look over and you can just tell somebody's cool, and there's like this cool girl sitting next to me and my wife on one side, and it's like, you know, should I talk to her? Yeah, I think I will. So we talked to her, and she's an artist and does amazing animal art, and my wife is an animal artist and picky animal artist, and we pulled up her website and we're like, oh my God, she's great. That was a connection, and that's part of the magic of living in Santa Fe, and that's what I love so much about it. So welcome, Linda, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Ron. That's very nice.
Yeah. And so I know very little about your background, but I know you're from Seattle. So born in Seattle?
Born in Seattle, lived there my whole life until about 3 years ago when I moved here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you worked at Daniel Smith, and for those that aren't familiar, Daniel Smith is a great, they were a great retailer. I'm not sure they do they still have retail stores, right?
I don't know, actually.
Okay, they've changed a lot. We carry Daniel Smith watercolor here. We carry their products in the store, but they're also a fantastic, or they were a fantastic store. I'm not sure if they're still doing the retail thing, but you were working in an art supply store?
Yes, I was working there right after college, and I had majored in art history, so and been drawing and painting my whole life. But when I worked at Daniel Smith for 6 years, I got to experiment as much as I wanted with materials and learn a lot about materials. So
You enjoyed it?
It was a good experience, yeah. It was really helpful in my career.
So then where did you go after that?
After that, I went and I worked as an artist painting pieces for a glass artist named Jimmy Ruffner. I was pretty heavily involved with the Pilchuck glass school scene up in Seattle since the early 80s, and she's a fairly well-known glass artist. So there were about 3 of us painting her pieces. I did that for about 4 years.
Painting on glass pieces?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with her work, so.
She makes lamp-worked sculptures.
Okay.
Basically, that are painted. So it was sort of like a little mini apprenticeship. She would pick out what she wanted, paint it on what part of the piece, and we had to be able to recreate or reproduce anything she wanted.
Oh, okay.
So it was a really good learning experience, and I was with her for about 4 years.
Were you still doing your art the whole time?
Yes, I was doing my art.
You've always done your art, right?
I've always done my art. I didn't really start painting until Daniel Smith and working for Jimmy Ruffner. It was all drawing before that since I was 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have some beautiful tattoos on your arm. You also have done some apprenticeship, right, with tattooing? Or?
Yes, I apprenticed off and on for about 5 years with a very well-respected tattoo artist named Tina Bafaro in Seattle. And unfortunately, I didn't get to finish my apprenticeship because I moved here. But yeah, I learned quite a bit doing that too. I've worked on myself.
You actually tattooed yourself?
I've tattooed myself, yes.
Okay.
My leg.
Okay, bold. You're an animal painter. Am I pigeonholing you with that, or what is your subject matter?
I'm painting animals, but it's nature. I've been predominantly animals, and I'm sort of obsessed with and inspired by the painting style of the Northern Renaissance. And I had started off painting portraits of people, and I just decided to substitute the people with the animals and sort of elevate them to that level with that style.
Well, you definitely have your own voice and your own style. I mean, I could see in your paintings looking through, I could pick out you from any other animal artist. I mean, you've developed a very mature, cool style of painting animals. So,
well, thanks. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
So we are talking with Linda Jo Nazarenus, and we're going to be exploring a little bit more about her art career. But we have Bill Hearne sitting here, and we're going to have another song with him, but we have to take a break. You're listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC. We'll be right back. Hang on. That's how quick it goes. See, I told you. That's a great song, Bill.
Oh, yeah,
Sounded
there's a
good.
difference between that. Was my friend Chuck Pyle, who died about 5 years ago, 4 years ago. This month he died, I guess it was 5 years ago, 2015. great songwriter. Mike Hearne and I do a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
You know, some of the same ones actually. He does that song too, Drifter's Wind.
Oh, okay.
I'll do one off the new album, the next one I do.
Okay, I'll announce the next. We'll come right back on, and I'll announce the next album.
Titles. I barely played it. We didn't have a whole world.
You memorize all your songs, Bill? You got them all down before you play out?
Well over 100. Hundreds, probably.
Yep.
I guess with your eyesight, it wouldn't do much to
71
look
this
at.
month. Still got a fairly good memory.
Yeah, but that's great, man. I mean, there's artists that play that can never memorize their songs. I mean, they come on and we have a music stand, they have to look at it, but everything that you play is
Well,
in your
with my
heart.
vision, my mind's kind of taken over from my vision, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah,
But, you know, it's, yeah, I know.
it's cool to play for your heart.
Well, I do one here.
So this one's going to be off the new album?
Yes, off the new album. I redid some redos, some old stuff, but I also resurrected a couple of songs that I used to do, and that kind of came back into my mind this last year. And
Okay.
anyway.
All right, we'll get going. And we are back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the Art Music Radio Show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM. We were talking with Linda Jo Nazarenus, and we're going to be exploring more about her coming here from Seattle, and we didn't even get into the film scenery type of stuff that she's been doing here, but we have Bill Hearne sitting here, and Bill Hearne has a new album out live at Society Hall, and he's going to be doing one of the songs off his new album. So which song are you going to do, Bill?
We'll do a Ian Tyson tune, which is another one of my songwriting heroes.
Yeah.
Since I'm not a writer, but he's from Longview, Alberta. And are you ready for me to do it?
Anytime you're ready, man.
Okay. Sorry, they're wrong. Let's just go. 2, 3, 4, 1. Like old corrals in the sagebrush, ponderosa pine, pretty girls in cup tops, California wine. I love them old time waltzes, George Jones or Emmy Lou. But I like nothing better than ladies' eyes on you. I like nothing better than ladies' eyes on you. Lord knows I ain't seen you for a while. There'd be nothing sweeter than to spend the night with you and wake up to the magic of your smile. You're all I ever wanted, or the rainbow of my own. I'd love to hear you say as we ride away, honey, sing that rose of San Antone. But I was traveling fast and light, like some old time buckaroo. I'd like nothing better than ladies' eyes on you. I'd like nothing better than ladies' eyes on you. Lord knows I ain't seen you for a while. There'd be nothing sweeter
And that's on his new album, Live at Society Hall, which we're going to be talking about a little bit later in the show. But I still have Linda Jo Nazarenus sitting next to me, and we haven't really explored in depth all of her artistic endeavors, because you also paint on movie sets, right? Explain what you do.
I do. I'm a scenic artist. With a theater background in Seattle. While I was trying to support my fine art career, I had a day job working around the theaters. I worked at the Seattle Repertory Theater as a scenic artist, painting sets.
Okay.
And at the Seattle Opera and several other theaters there. And the whole time I had been dreaming of moving down here since about 2000, and I'd come down here and do road trips and take pictures.
Visiting Santa Fe and
the whole state.
okay.
In fact, I avoided Santa Fe for a long time. I wrote it off as too touristy.
Oh, okay.
So I just rent a car and drive around and take pictures and get reference materials and go back. But yeah, a few years ago I was able to switch my union local, IATSE, local 488 in Seattle, for the theater work, down to the film industry down here, local 480.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So now that is your day job now, is working, do you have it, is that considered a day job? Or
It's
I don't know.
it's production, it's gig-based basically. So I'm either doing that kind of work or I'm not doing that and I'm working on my paintings and trying to balance them out. That's been my juggle for the last 15 years.
And you were talking about Renaissance. Were you classically trained in painting, or what schooling
I'm
did
a
you have?
self-taught painter, but I studied the techniques of the Northern Renaissance painters, so I try to paint in that style,
Okay.
that technique, a lot of glazing.
And for people that don't know, we also videotape this on Artisan's Facebook page, so you can always go to Artisan's Facebook and see one of Linda's very cool goat painting here. I've noticed a lot of your paintings have dramatic cloud scenes and a lot of cool landscape stuff in the background, and then you pull the animal out. How did this style develop?
It's sort of developed as a fusion of, I have degrees in art history and Scandinavian studies because I've spent a lot of time in Sweden, and
Are you Swedish?
My grandmother was from Sweden, yeah. But I sort of fell in love with the brooding existentialists, playwright August Strindberg, Ingmar Bergman, and I kind of blended that aesthetic with the painting style of the Northern Renaissance. And then I wanted to elevate the animal and replace the human. So there's sort of a...
Why did you want to replace the human? I'm just curious.
Well, because they're sort of forgotten and we're kind of destroying their world.
The animal world? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so...
Have you always been an animal lover?
Yes, and it started I remember when I was 5 years old, I asked my mother why animals couldn't talk, and being the evangelical that she was, she said, it's because they sinned.
Because they sinned?
They sinned, and at that young, tender age, I knew that was wrong.
Okay, good.
Absolutely wrong. So I left the religion,
I can relate to that a little bit.
Just elevating them, and they're a little bit, I want them to sort of challenge the viewer and confront the viewer and be, when the viewer's looking at them, I want them to see that sentience.
And your website is lindajonazarenus.com.
Yes.
And if you'd like to view all the stuff that we're talking about, please go and view Linda's website. Do you sell your work on your website, or how do you market your work?
I don't sell it. I've been represented by Harris Harvest Gallery in Seattle since 2005, and formerly Lisa Harris Gallery. So pretty much I send everything.
Everybody
up.
to the gallery.
I send all my work up there. I am looking for a gallery here, and I've been in a group show at Manitou on Canyon, but pretty much that's where the work goes.
Okay, gallery owners, if you are listening to this show, I would highly advise that you take a look at Artisan's Facebook page, because this is just a sample, and look at lindajonazarenus.com, because her work is fantastic. And so the set design, are you doing animals and scenery? Is it similar to what you're painting here?
I'm not a designer. In theater there were a lot of backdrops, but you had to sculpt things, you had to recreate textures and looks, age things here in film. It can range from painting a spaceship to painting a western town and signs. So it's just whatever the production design demands.
Are you working on that new movie they're doing on cowboys? You're not working on that?
No.
Okay.
I was just on the News of the World, the Tom Hanks one that'll be out next year. But
What kind of stuff are you painting? Can you say for that?
well, some wagons,
Okay.
some towns, some signs.
So when you see that Tom Hanks movie, when it comes out on the big screen and you're looking at all that cool scenery, you're going to know Linda Jo Nazarenus painted that stuff.
That's one of the people, yes.
Do you work in a team?
Oh yeah, there's a crew. Yeah, great crew.
And you still have time enough to have work that you're sending to the gallery?
Well, the nice thing about working in film or theater is that it's gig based, So you'll go into a black hole of working for 3 months,
Okay.
and then you get laid off, and then you have like a chunk of 3 months or a month or a while to work on your paintings.
So you have found the perfect job being a fine artist too.
It's a balancing act.
We are talking with Linda Jo Nazarenus, but we have Bill Hearne sitting next to me, and Bill Hearne has a new album live at Society Hall. We're going to explore that as soon as we get back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM. We'll be right back. Hang on.
Okay, I need to check my tuning here a little bit.
You actually get to not play this time. You get to just relax, and we're going to talk to you.
Oh, right, I know, but when I do play again,
Okay.
I want
You want it in tune?
I actually can see this one better. I guess do New Mexico Rain.
Oh, nice. So that'll be on the fourth set, and then we'll have you take us out with New Mexico Rain, because that's everybody loves it.
Oh, yeah, I can see this one much better. I use this one occasionally just sitting around, jamming or something. But this is the one I really can see better.
So I'm going to talk to Bill in this section. We get back in the last section. What I'd like to explore is kind of your process of just painting. We've already explored who else you are besides your painter. Let's get into how you structurally attack a piece, kind of stuff you're doing. I'm talking with these are oils, I assume.
Yeah, oils. Well, that.
Okay. Yeah, it was a little out of tune on that last song, I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
So, Bill, we're just going to talk to you this time, okay?
I understand.
All right.
I'm here.
Yeah. And we are back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM, Santa Fe News Talk Leader. We were talking with Linda Jo Nazarenus about her animal art that she does, and if you'd like to go see it, go to lindajonazarenus.com, and you can see these really cool paintings. And if you're a gallery owner in Santa Fe, you need to be taking and checking this stuff out. She's looking for a new gallery here, and honestly, this is really, really cool stuff. And I got to tell my Bill Hearne story, because this was 23 years ago. I had a Harley back then, which was very cool. And we used to go driving out, and I had just met my wife, and we went out to the legal tender and pulled in, and Bill and Bonnie Hearne were playing there, and they were rocking the place out because they were such a dynamic duo. Bonnie played keyboards, and Bill was at the guitar. And my wife Karen had never danced before, and got her up, and we just had the best time dancing to Bill and Bonnie. Such a good time that when we decided to get married, that we had Bill and Bonnie play at our wedding out in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and they came out. And you talk about New Mexico Rain, well, that was the day where New Mexico rained for 5 days, and we were supposed to get married out on the land, couldn't get married out on the land, moved it all into the Victory Bar downtown, and got married at the Victory Bar with Bill Hearne. So that's my Bill Hearne story. So
we made it work, though.
We did.
We made it work.
Well, Bill, Bonnie, how long has it been since Bonnie passed on?
Bonnie passed 2 years ago in December, late December.
It's been 2 years already, okay.
2017. We lost her sepsis and some other issues. But we had a wonderful almost 47 years together.
40, and you met back in music school, or how did you
Oh,
meet
no,
Bonnie?
no, we met through a mutual friend in Austin in 1968, late 68. I was a student, quote unquote, University of Texas, and in Austin, and Bonnie had just graduated the spring before. I was a freshman, so I was a little bit, and I
She was older than you?
Yeah, she was older than me.
Oh, okay.
Usually
I
she
never
was
knew
the
that.
other way around, but not in this case.
So she kind of picked up on you, huh?
Yes, she did. Yeah, she did. A friend of mine that was going to school that I'd known in Dallas, going to school in Dallas. Bonnie went to school for the blind in Austin. I did not. I went through the system in Dallas. And but we had a mutual friend that was down there and said, this girl's all interested in same kind of music. You are country, Americana. Well, it wasn't called Americana, then folk. And we said, you ought to call her. And so there was a payphone in the dorm, and I was in the freshman age. And so I called her, and she said, yeah, man, I know Linda wouldn't steer me wrong, and Linda Allen Bond, my friend, come on over. So she was living in a little student housing apartment.
So one thing led
I
to
went
another.
over, and she had a big old CNI dog. Scared the hell out of me. Well, she was used to staying in women's dorms, the dog, and
So you guys started playing when you came over on the first date. Did you get your guitar out?
I brought my guitar. Yeah, I brought my guitar over, and the first song we sang, I'll never forget, was "You Like Ian Sylvia." Ian Tyson and Sylvia, and they were big back then, mid '60s, and oh yeah, I do, and I said, well, I like the song "Wild Geese." Oh, I know that, and so we went. It was just like, boom, there it was.
She knew Wild Geese, and the rest is history, huh?
I sang the lead. Ian sang the lead on it. And Bonnie was just like, we've been singing for 10 years or something.
Wow, that's such a cool story, Bill.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Really
you
was.
had 47 years together.
Yep, we did. And Bonnie performed about 35 of those years, and then our last 12, the health started changing, and she actually had to quit for the most part in 2004. And, sang periodically, like at Mike Hearne's Big Born Dance Music Festival in Taos, and special things like my birthday, her birthday, our anniversary. She'd come out and do cameo appearances when she could. And but it was a long 12 years for her. And
I think a lot of people know, but for those that don't know, Michael Hearne is your nephew?
That's right. That's
okay,
right.
All right.
And he has a great music festival. This will be number 18 coming up at the Taos City Park there, Carson Park. And I'm a fixture there. The Rifters were a fixture. Great Northern New Mexico
Rifters
trio.
are fantastic, yeah.
Yes, they are.
And you were just telling me you just played with Lyle Lovett?
Yeah, we got to do a show. Melanie was my roadie for the night, my personal assistant, as she is a lot, sitting over there. And
you're making all the musicians jealous to have a roadie like Melanie. I mean, she was setting up your guitar, and it's just like everybody's like, "Oh my God!"
I'm a lucky man.
You are a lucky
Melanie
man.
Matthews. He's a wonderful, wonderful, dear friend. Long time ago.
Yeah.
And so she moved back for a second stint because we're close friends.
So how was it playing with Lyle Lovett? You have a big
it's
band
something
out
else.
there?
Well, I've done it. It's never old hat, but we've done it many times. Lyle's been a friend of mine since the late 70s, early 80s. We've known each other. There were periods of time when we didn't see each other much, but when he played the old Palo Solari here in 92, 93.
Okay.
And I was with my friends Becky Crutchfield and her husband, and I got up. I had to get up after a song and use the facilities, and I was wearing an orange poncho. It was kind of spitting rain. It was monsoon season, and it was spitting rain. I got up, stood up, and they had an orange poncho on, and I said, "I do believe that's Bill Hearne there." And I said, "Yeah." I turned around and said that, Bonnie's here too. And somebody yelled. We weren't that well known then, but we were some. Well, why don't you get him up? And and I said, we might do that in a little bit. So during his he had the large band with him, and during his acoustic set, when he just uses a couple of pieces, he said, let's get Bill Hearne up. So they got us over the front railing. It was too complicated to get back to the back.
Yeah.
And the Palo Solari was kind of tricky. And so we climbed over the railing on the front stage. Some of the road guys, and we did, Bonnie did a Nancy Griffith song, Roseville, actually a Bill Staines song called Roseville Fair. And I forget what else we did.
How cool is that,
And then we started calling us up every time we came to town. In
Nice.
'97, we recorded Walk Through the Bottomland. Which,
Bill, I promised people that we would talk about your new album because you have a new
Yeah.
one called Live at Society Hall. Here, can you talk about that?
Yeah, it was done with the founder of the Rifters, Don Richmond, who has a wonderful recording studio called Howling Dog Studios
Yeah.
in Alamosa, Colorado. That's where Don's lived all his life.
Did they back you up on this song? Musically?
Yes, he sure
The
does.
Rifters?
That's Don on the left there,
Okay.
on the front cover. And then my bassist, one of my bassists, Zeke Severson, was there, and it was the three of us, plus we added my current guitar and mandolin player via internet, via David Tom.
Okay.
David wasn't able to be there in person.
So we added on to the afterwards before it got mastered.
We sent a file down to him on the songs we wanted him to play on. He doesn't play on the entire album, but anyways, the three of us. Society Hall's a venue, a wonderful, about 150, 60 seat venue in Alamosa. It was an old church, and they were going to tear it down, and the bank was going to build a parking lot. And said no. Don said, and some other people got together and said, well, let's buy the thing and turn it into a music venue. And it's been about 4 or 5 years, and it's a wonderful venue, great sound. Don's put in a wonderful sound system, and it's just a great venue to perform in.
Was there a studio audience? Was there an audience out there?
Oh yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
you
It
were,
was a
this live is
concert.
true. I mean, you were playing a concert and you just recorded the concert, and this is what the CD's all
Recorded
about.
the concert.
How
and
cool
we
is
were able
that?
Through digital, we had a 16-channel interface, and we were able. Don was able to go out to the studio and mix it and enhance it, and tweak it a little bit.
And if people want your music, Bill, what's the easiest way? I mean, the easiest way is to come and watch you perform because you're still at La Fonda, you're still
Right.
playing all around town. But
all around town.
But what is there digital? Can they go on?
Yeah,
anywhere?
you can go to BillHearne.com, HearNe.com, and we have a store there.
They could get the new Live at Society Hall there?
Yes, sir. You sure
Okay.
can. And anything else I've recorded. We're just coming out with a reissue of the old Bill and Bonnie Hearne Best of Most Requested Plus CD. 17 songs. We should have them in another week and a half or two.
Nice.
That we're reissuing in a limited edition, limited amount, 200 copies.
How cool is that? We are talking
Yeah.
with Bill Hearne, and he's going to be playing his famous song, New Mexico Rain, in the next set. We have Linda Jo Nazarenus, and we still have to explore a little bit more about her art. You're listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM. Hang on, we'll be right back.
You do okay?
You did great, man.
All right.
No problem filling 10 minutes with you. we need a 3-hour show, Danny. All for it. All right.
I can fill 3 hours probably with the story. Probably.
I'd much rather it be that way, Bill.
Well,
Trust me.
yeah, I tend to ramble too much in
No,
these
no,
things.
it's perfect.
Okay.
So this section, I'm going to talk to Linda a little bit more about her art, and you'll take us out with New Mexico Rain. How's that?
Okay, got it. Time flies. It's at 11:40. Sounds good.
You good?
Oh, God, I better turn that off. It needs to.
You'll play New Mexico Rain at the end, so I'll talk to her first, and then I'll signal
Oh, I
you.
know. I was just-
Okay. It's nice to have it in. And we are back. You're listening to ARTFusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM. Just have to remind people that the big expo that Artisan does at Buffalo Thunder, the Artisan Expo, which is September 25th through 27th. Features 100 short art workshops. We have about 57 instructors coming from all over the United States. They're 3 and 6 hour workshops in everything from silver jewelry to acrylic painting to oil painting to pastel to watercolor to drawing. Everything is available. Go to expoartisan.com. We also have 86 booths of vendors that are coming in, all art material vendors that sell stuff at even better prices than Artisan can sell them at. I know you find that hard to believe, but yes, this is manufactured direct. It's a great show. It's free to get in. Go to expoartisan.com to check it out. And we have Linda Jo Nazarenus here, and Linda Jo actually used to work at Daniel Smith, which is one of the great lines that we carry here. But besides that, she painted on glass. She works in film. But I really think she's one of these artists that doesn't know how good she is, because if you look at her art, I mean, this is a very, people talk about musicians getting their voice, you know, getting your style, your voice, so they could tell this is who you are. Linda has come into that maturity in her art. LindaJoNazarenus.com to check it out. And she paints animals, paints scenery. Your animal paintings, oil?
They're oil. They're all oil now. For a long time, I was doing my underpainting in acrylic and then switching up to oil
Okay.
because I thought it would save me time, but it doesn't really save time.
Do you do your backgrounds first? I'm just curious how you approach it.
My approach is usually I do little sketches first. I'll do a little drawing. I take thousands of pictures of the sky here, and I save my favorites, and then the sky will sort of inform the mood. I don't know how to describe it.
Inform
but
the
I'll
mood.
sort of have a little picture of who I want to put in there.
What type of animal? Or?
Yeah, what type of animal, what kind of mood I want to get, and then I'll just start working on some little sketches, and then that's where I start.
You go around and photograph animals, or how do you get the animal?
I do that as often as I can. I also have a pretty large library that I've collected over the years.
Uh-huh.
So it's, yeah.
I looked at on your website, your animals that you choose. It seems like a pretty wide variety, mostly wildlife, or is it domestic? Yeah, you do a whole bunch of birds.
Birds and wildlife, yeah.
Coyote.
Yeah, occasionally a goat.
Occasionally a goat.
Yeah. It's, yeah, I'm really interested in the idea of their sort of hidden world from us that we're a little bit separate from. So that's why the wild animals, I want to get into that mystery a little bit.
Did you have animals as a kid, or how did you?
Oh yeah, I've had dogs my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely felt more of a sort of kinship with, I'm just intrigued with the animal world.
And you were saying that some of the work, like this is an older painting because your new work all goes to the gallery. Has gallery in Seattle been selling pretty well? Or?
Yeah, I've been with them since 2005, and they've done really well for me. So, and these are time-consuming paintings. They take a couple months to make because they're built up in layer after layer, glaze after glaze.
And you self-taught yourself how to do this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I did, from studying the techniques of the masters and just trial and error. When I worked for Virginia Ruffner, we use strictly acrylics, and when I'm working in theater or film, it's all water-based. So there's been a lot of experimentation, but I've ended up on just oil with mine.
When you're done, I'm just sort of curious about this. When you're done with a movie and you've worked on a set and you've got all this painting, do you sell those sets, or what happens to that?
Well, we don't own them. We're just the employees of the production company. So I don't know. I don't know what they do with them.
Because we did a project here at Artisan one time called Off the Wall, where we had graffiti artists come with spray paint, and they did these 4x8 sheets, and then we cut them up into 16x20 and selling them. And man, I would think there would be a market for.
Well, there were in the Coen Brothers movie, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I painted a couple of these, a wagon that Liam Neeson was in for his segment, and I did hear a rumor that he actually took one home and has it in his yard.
Oh.
So that makes me happy.
How cool is that? We are talking with Linda Jo Nazarenus, and I really urge people to go check her website out, LindaJoNazarenus.com. But I have Mr. Bill Hearne, one of my favorite human beings on the face of the earth, sitting next to me, and he has a song called New Mexico Rain, which is like a standard. I mean, anybody in New Mexico that hasn't heard this song really needs to listen up. So
beautiful song written by my nephew, Michael Hearne. And back in 1980, in the summer of 1980, he was sitting where we were living in Red River, Michael and Barney and I.
Yeah.
He was sitting in his living room and his cabin where he was staying this summer, and it was summer monsoon season. And it started raining, and it was really hot down in Texas that summer. 113, 114 in Dallas, and 189 in Austin, just day after day, and terrible summer.
Yeah.
And, he said, "Man, this is it." It's about 60, 65, Red River, 70. So
Silver
anyway,
New Mexico rain.
inspired the song. Ron, the chorus, there's a little answering part maybe you can help me with.
Sure.
Maybe you and Melanie.
Come out here, Mel.
Melanie's a member of the Hearnettes, by the way. We sang on this song, I Call Them Up. The smoke cuts the lights, this honky-tonk bar. I'm thinking where I'd rather be, chasing seniors in old Mexico, or standing at the edge of the sea. If I had the money, I'd tell you, honey, we'd be on that first plane to Spain. As long as we're here, the answer is clear. We're dancing the New Mexico rain, New Mexico rain. It's hot down in Texas. Oh, I call this my home. If I ain't happy here, I ain't happy nowhere. New Mexico rain when my mind starts to roam. You got it?
We're behind you, Dad.
Now the lights of the city keep calling my name. I've been through that all before. It's just a giant hotel on a long 4-lane street with a checkout time on the door. Now if I had the money, I'd tell you, honey, oh, we'd be on the new Delta train. As long as we're here, the answer is clear. We'll waltz in the New Mexico rain, New Mexico rain. It's hot down in Texas. Oh, I call this my home. If I ain't happy here, I ain't happy nowhere. New Mexico rain, when my mind starts to roam. Pick the boys.
Where's Bonnie when you need her?
I've been drinking all day with a man at the bar, and he sure seems unhappy to me. Told me he was going nowhere, going there fast, and he envies the life that I lead. Oh, if I had a little money, I'd tell you, honey, I'd keep him from going insane. There's one thing for sure, there just ain't no cure like a walk in the New Mexico rain, New Mexico rain. It's hot down in Texas. Yeah, I call this my home. If I ain't happy here, I ain't happy nowhere. New Mexico rain, when my mind starts to roam. Now, if I ain't well, New Mexico rain, when my mind starts to roam. All right, guys. That's Melanie Matthews and Ron Whitmore on the vocals there.
And he's wishing that Bonnie was backing him up, I'm sure.
And Bonnie's here in spirit, too.
Yes, I'm sure she is. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you, Bonnie, wherever you happen to be listening from right now.
In the universe.
In the universe, Linda Jo Nazarenus, it's very nice exploring more about you, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're listening to ARTFusion. We'll be back next week. The radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM, KTRC, and 103.7 FM. We have Dan McBride as our visual artist and our musician, because he's a keyboard player. So we only have one guest next week. We will see you next week.
Thank y'all. Thank you.